Hey folks, I'm MysteriousJG and welcome back to Let's Play Andromeda, Mass Effect Andromeda. Um, the visual and sound quality may be a little different here. Kind of got fed up after a while with the hardware crashes, and I'm switching to a different recording setup, the one I used actually to record Ninja Gaiden for the PS3. Ninja Gaiden Sigma, rather. So it's a little different. There's some possibility you'll hear a little bit of echo. The way I'm doing it, I'm having to listen to the sound of the game through the TV speakers, so it's possible that'll get picked up a little bit by my microphone, getting my commentary, and you'll get a little that, whatever. Somebody dragging your username? I don't know. Somebody noticed that one of my videos had sound sync issues with the commentary. I'm glad they mentioned it. I did have to pull the video offline and reprocess it to get it to work. But they also commented that this game seems to be a nightmare to record. It has nothing to do with the game. It is a problem I'm having with my hardware, my PC, which I normally use for my console recording, except for the PS3. It's just been giving me fits recently. It has nothing to do with this. Even tried taking the capture card out. It was still crashing. It crashes when doing things that have nothing to do with with recording. So, for whatever faults you think Mass Effect 4 has, you can't blame it for that. Anyway, but thank God we're in a section of the game where I can do manual saves, because this makes it way easier for me to recover. And in fact, I had about 20 minutes worth of video recorded, all talking to plot characters and advancing the story that I'm going to have to redo.
Hello, Console. You and I are going to be very good friends. We'll get you all fixed up and ready to go in no time.
I have you feeling nipped
up,
up, because I'm the Solarian who likes to. I'll get you juicy power from Morland's famous shop. See, he's got the Solarian voice I'm used to. This idea of Solarians having different voices, other than, I guess, the guy who was your squad mate in 2 and at Alatros, all of the Solarians should talk exactly the same. Sorry.
Excellent. Let's go over the docking checklist, shall we?
How the hell should I know? Spender, you have a job. If you want to keep it, do it.
What is your problem,
Damn
baby?
it.
God damn it, my acting's great.
All right, what happened?
To who?
To whom? And your goddamn father.
Jeez.
Sorry, my face is tired from dealing with everything. And right now, I just want to know what happened with Alec. Not how he died. I pulled those logs. What happened with Pathfinder?
Listen, lady, I can't even relish making fun of you saying my face is tired, because it's probably already the center of a bunch of memes. I mean, seriously, I've been playing the game since release date, and I find out that it already has a shit reputation. Facegate has apparently been a thing people have been talking about on the interwebs before the game even came out. I'm late to the party, and I was there when it started. Well, I was there when the game was first released. Anyway, so what's her deal? Well, she's kind of a bitch, and please don't think that I'm, like, the sexist Reddit troll for using the term bitch, but yeah, this character, who I already, again, had an aborted video because of hardware issues, so I'm recapturing this footage, but yes, she is not meant to be likable, and maybe we get to win her over and we'll become firm friends in the long run, but in the short run, all she does is, like, belittle you and any chance that you will succeed, and yells at everyone, and is just kind of bitchy. So, she doesn't appear to have any personal, like, the not how he died bit suggests she doesn't really care about your father as a person. She wants to know about Pathfinder. Now, I assumed that that meant that she knows something about the AI that's in her head, but I think that is meant to be a secret. So, in fact, what she's asking here is what's happening with who is the Pathfinder now. I don't understand how the Pathfinder's this mystic thing where I have to be in charge. It's like they built up this whole idea of the Spectres in the Mass Effect 1, which carried on after that. But really, that was just an excuse for Shepard to be able to do whatever was needed. Here, the whole, why is there only one person who's in charge of figuring out a safe place for everyone? I don't get it. But he's gone. He wanted me to be Pathfinder. I chose this last time because I thought she was talking about who has inherited the AI in your head, and you say something and she just kind of cuts you the fuck down. So maybe we'll be a little bit more pragmatic about it this time, since whatever.
I don't want to get into it.
Things went wrong. And now I'm the one you have to deal with.
Alec Ryder wouldn't accept that kind of ultimatum. Damned if I will. We'd never have left home if we... Not home. The Milky Way. This is home. This mess. We don't have a lot of options, Ryder. Maybe you'll prove your father right. After 14 months of failed colonization, forgive me if I don't hold my breath.
So she actually says something slightly different. If you say he wanted me to be Pathfinder, she actually rips on the fact that that's nepotism, and that if we wanted, like, you know, people inheriting titles like monarchy, we could have stayed in the Milky Way. We could have stayed home. And then it goes into, not home, the Milky Way, this is home, damn it, and she continues on. So yeah, she rips on the creeping nepotism that I've already ripped on. So I did feel a brief moment of being a kindred spirit with her. But in fact, no matter what you say, she just kind of rips you. I put a lot of thought. I was trying to like out loud rationalize which sequence you would ask these questions in before. Trying to prioritize what I thought was the most important things to discuss, but I don't feel like, yeah, we're going to listen to all of them anyway, so let's just work our way down. I made a big deal of, we'll talk about the failing outpost first, and then our plans for the hostiles, and then we'll move into personal questions, but, let's start here and move around.
There's also the strange technology. Has anyone studied that?
They make it sound like you were not supposed to start with that.
The brains in research. They're supposed to know their business. The current excuse? The tech we dug up on Mars was more advanced, but it was plug and go. The tech here thinks different? I don't know. We've mostly avoided it. And from what the Hyperion logs say about Alec, maybe that's good.
So, she mentions the brains who are supposed to be studying this, kind of resentfully, then says they're supposed to know what they're doing, their current excuses, blah, blah, blah. Like, there's people who are attempting to figure this thing out. You're not one of them. Why are you ragging on the people who are trying to fix it? Colonial Director position.
How do you fit into the Nexus leadership?
I oversee the actual settlement effort. As the number of outposts is currently less than ideal, my influence is limited. As Tan is quick to remind me.
Yep.
Left a perfectly adequate career as a chief officer. Provincial capital, too. Only a new galaxy could pull me away. And here we are, idling.
A new galaxy. A galaxy's worth of opportunities for petty bitchiness.
You called my father Alec. No one does that.
And he punches her in the
joined the
face.
initiative because of his vision. What he shared of it, anyway.
Were you friends? Or...
I hated
I'm
him!
not your new mother, if that's what you're asking. Or his friend. He hated that I didn't use his title. But no one's a Pathfinder until they've path-found something.
Well, what's your title?
Much like a colonial director without colonies.
Oh, okay, so you're a colonial director. So should I just go around calling you Addison? I think I will. Addison.
There must be some kind of plan for encountering hostile aliens. We can't have been that naive.
We expected life, not an enemy that refuses to talk. They don't attack.
So we were that
They
naive, that's what you're
disinfect.
saying? We had no plan
We're
for
nothing
if
until
we
we're
invade
back
another
here.
galaxy,
Sorry.
and there's already guys
14
there who
months
don't
and you
want us
speak
taking it over.
poetry. That's how bad it is. Not sure who started it, but we're calling them Ket. Kandros will know more. Maybe too much.
You don't trust him?
I trust him to defend us. I do not trust a rising military influence in a supposedly civilian initiative. We came here to make history, Ryder, not repeat it. Ugh, goddamn poetry.
So I was talking over it, but last time I recorded all this, I remember that she said something about goddamn poetry when she said something that wasn't really poetic, just kind of cliched. And then at the end, she wraps up with a kind of cliche, melodramatic line, and once again says goddamn poetry. That's not poetry! It's just you talking fancy. So yes, the plan for the hostiles is, like, seriously, we asked the question, like, we couldn't have been that naive, we have no plan for this? And her answer is, we have no plan for this. I'm upset that there is a military guy who is trying to figure out a way to deal with this situation. But she's mad at the Turian guy who's trying to figure out a way to defend them because she doesn't like the military taking over. And yet, I don't want to be all gung-ho military, but they had no plan for dealing with the fact that they're going into another galaxy and maybe there's already sentient life there who doesn't want people coming in and taking over the hospitable planets of their galaxy. It's not that big of a... I don't think I'm paranoid for thinking that way. Well, this is assuming I've put a lot of thought into how I would plan a soiree into another galaxy, which I have not.
You've had no colony successes in over a year. How many tries is that?
Less than you'd think. The Scourge, spoiled worlds, exiles, hostiles.
Boy, you guys just lazy. Get out there and try.
We can't just lock down an outpost and expect picket fences. We need the Pathfinder and Sam to scout, evaluate, and inspire. The initiative promised a goal. Andromeda has not cooperated.
And if it had?
Beautiful utopian horseshit. Colonies that produce and support each other. The Nexus a Citadel, not headed by Tan, or even me.
But the military guy. So I believe I wrapped up with the relationship with Father, where she disses him and refuses to, and mentions she doesn't use his title, which is a good one to end on, considering where the closing of the conversation takes us.
Excuse me, Director Addison.
Ryder?
It's Pathfinder.
Ryder, we're starving here.
Yeah.
If we don't get a
But she
foundation of
literally
outposts
just got
to
done
lead the
telling us she
initiative,
doesn't use
we
the
might as
title
well be
unless you
600
pathfind
years
something.
dead. Alec promised a lot. None of it panned out.
Well, if you want to be
That's what
600
you're up
years dead,
against.
I can arrange that
Why
for you
people
in
won't
600
trust you.
years.
Why I don't trust you. Prove me wrong.
Bitch. Yeah, she's basically, it's like, she's gonna be, if we do save the thousands of people, I feel like she
Mysterious power draw is now at 100%.
just get. Whee.
Engineering reports Hyperion power draw
Right,
is
so-
now at 100%.
I don't know what to do with myself. My confidence that this whole thing is not going to crash right in the middle of the video has really got me feeling like no
This is
pressure
the planet
whatsoever
where
to
we landed.
advance.
Habitat 7. It wasn't even livable.
That's been true of every world we've found.
All filled with
Ryder,
scorpions
we
with
were
tennis
discussing
rackets
your
on their
next
stingers.
expedition.
Maybe I'll just reference that every time this guy shows up and wait for somebody other than Bobo and possibly Bean to know what I'm talking about. It's not like a private in-joke we have amongst ourselves. It is from a piece of accessible pop culture. It's just not that I can expect any of you to recognize. At some point I have to check the voice actor and find out if this is Khalil Nawanjami. I'm sure I'm getting his name wrong. They like culture sort of guy who I'm thinking of. We were discussing your next expedition. So, two different approaches. You trust me now? Question mark. I don't remember the Solarian guy ever being like. I guess I'd have to go back and watch the video where he's introduced. I don't remember him being like outright hostile and not trusting us. So, about time is more like what I think here.
Good. I was starting to wonder who was in charge around here.
Director Addison is entitled to her opinion, and mine overrules hers.
Bitch.
Does she know that?
I oversee the entire initiative, and I have decided to give you a chance to prove yourself.
Mm-hmm.
To that end, the Scourge dealt us a serious blow. Whatever it is, our scientists theorize it's not natural.
An artificial energy cloud?
It wasn't
Cool
here when we
sky.
left the Milky Way, yet it rendered all the golden worlds unlivable.
Crap,
Then there's the aliens you ran into, the Ket. They're obsessed with alien structures we found scattered around the cluster. They'll do anything to prevent others from accessing them. It seems murder isn't exclusive to the Milky Way.
Well, that was a stupid
and now the
thing
challenge
to
is to
expect.
settle a world in spite of all that.
I mean, did we really
This one
think there
here.
was going to be... Never mind.
EOS.
How?
You need to increase the viability of the planet so we can establish an outpost. Then we can bring more colonists out of stasis.
Huh.
The more colonists we have, the more resources we can gather to support
Basically, the
Nexus.
plot from now on is that we'll
Everything
drop you on occasional
depends on
planets
it.
and you have to
There
do
are
missions
6
for
worlds
them,
we
and
hope
then
to settle.
you'll make them settle.
Okay. But you said every planet you found is unlivable. So, how do I...
A good Pathfinder would relish the challenge of solving it.
I need you to go
Right.
down there and
I think I
manually
should
change
go
the
check on
atmosphere
this.
so that it has oxygen.
And if I fail, I guess it's no sweat off your back, right? You'll just look for another Pathfinder?
Placing bets on people is part of my job. Some of them pay off. Others,
Why are we taking it personally that he doesn't necessarily think we can do the impossible? It's like, of course he has a contingency. Like, of course he's going to try to have some other approach if we don't do it. I really don't get how we're the mythical Pathfinder and no one else can do it. Like they've done almost nothing since they've done almost nothing before we got here, because only our dad apparently was going to be able to find a place for all these various arcs full of people and aliens to live. They don't seem to know about the crazy AI that's in our head, which to me isn't that much of a world-beating advantage in terms of this anyway. Like, if we're supposed to have like been trained up on, creating survivable conditions or settling colonies or whatever, like, why is nobody else even trying to figure this shit out? I understand that it's video game logic, and we're the center of the universe, but even by Mass Effect standards, where Shepard was, like, leading everyone, at least it was because only a core group of people around him even believed in the first game Saren was a threat. And after that, it was because he was like, with Cerberus, and there were political reasons no one else was acting. And then in the third game, like, you got the impression everyone was acting, but by now Shepard was established as a star of the series, so he was the one we're going to follow. In this game, it's just like, we need people to go out and establish colonies. You have been given the mythical title of Pathfinder, which means you have to do it. Nobody else is going to even try. Good luck. Go to this planet first. No, I know you thought you'd get to explore a vast new galaxy. No. Go to this planet first. Do missions here. Then eventually your plot will advance to another planet. Enjoy. Just point the way or don't play games with me. I don't see any reason. Like, already, writer... Maybe there is something going on where your choices affect dialogue that writer has. Like, even when you don't get a choice, the dialogue between your choices will be based on choices you've made previously. But writer seems to want to pick a fight with a Solarian. I really don't know why. If we've got two leaders at this place, and one of them is already openly hostile, we really should be trying to make nice with the other one.
Just point me to my ship and I'll be out of here.
They're prepping it now in the docking bay. The coordinates for EOS will be in the computer. And when you have a moment, we should discuss the missing arcs.
I was wondering about that.
Oh no, we're not going to have sex later? You have a headache?
Ryder, please see me and Sam Node on the Hyperion. Your implant needs attention, and we need to discuss a confidential matter.
Ryder, please ignore his
No.
question.
I'm fine.
So we got a whole bunch of mission status update shit here. We can go talk to our voice that's in our head, but I'd rather, while we're here, we might as well continue our conversation with the director.
Ryder, you have my condolences for your father.
Oh, thanks.
I appreciate it.
I didn't know him very well, although I understand he played a key role in planning the initiative.
Also, I
I'm
understand
sure
you
he'd be
humans care
concerned
about
that
your
we still
families
have
and stuff.
several arcs missing.
I don't really. I was born from a clutch with dozens of eggs. I know, we read the Codex thing. They're very big on family. I know. I'll find them or what happened to them. And this is about when the last video that I was trying to record cut out, actually. But I remember having gone into a big, fascinating discussion of which of these dialogue choices to choose. I really need to just pick a freaking dialogue choice and move on. But to me, in this instance, I don't like the confident, I'll find them, as opposed to what happened to them. No, what happened to them makes sense. We just got here. I don't see why we would assume that the people who've been here for a while don't know something that we could find out.
Any
As it
idea
turns out
where
they
they
do,
went?
but
Nothing certain. But tens of thousands of colonists are unaccounted for. It paints the initiative in an unflattering light.
and that's the important
Did you
thing.
have some other business?
Well, we were just talking about missing arcs.
Any more information you can give me on the missing arcs?
No. And that is the distressing part. The Asari, Turian, and Solarian arcs are completely
Nobody mentioned
unaccounted
Solarian's
for.
last.
If they had the
Self-esteem
same
issue.
problems with the Scourge that we did, I fear the worst. Should you find any clues, please investigate.
Well, I hope
Without
they
the
didn't
other
have-
arcs, the promise of
I'm
the
trying to find
initiative
that.
can
I
never be
feel like
fulfilled.
I'm sensing that it's probably picking up. I hope they didn't have problems with the Scourge or any of the other post-Transformers, the motion picture Decepticons. Additional arcs? We must construct additional arcs.
Are there any other arcs we should expect?
Well,
We
you
had
didn't
hoped
know?
Quarians would be part of the first wave. But before departure in 2185, we got word they had technical problems with their ship. It seems they're also bringing along Drell, Hanar, and other species as well. Managing all of their biological needs cause complications. We won't see them for some time to come.
Should probably figure out planet viability is a pretty big deal for us. Still, has anyone thought about trying to help the Krogan? I mean, you didn't mention the Krogan.
What do I need to consider in making a planet viable?
You must manually change
Assuming
the
the
atmosphere
planet
to
supports
oxygen.
life, an outpost is critical. People like a roof over their heads, and you'll want to eliminate any hostile threats. Whether that's the cat or other terrors lurking in Helios, colonists being murdered on sight can be discouraging. Also, scouting and mapping terrain is a priority for any Pathfinder. And don't forget forward stations. You'll want those.
Is this turning into like a freaking building game?
What can you tell me about forward stations?
It's Saren.
I was afraid you'd ask. It's mostly what the engineers tell me. A forward station allows mining, equipment repairs, and resupply for field teams. I mean, who wouldn't want that? But seeing as how every colonization effort has failed, it's just theory at the moment. You get to test it out, Ryder.
What the fuck does that mean? It's a gameplay mechanic, Ryder. I'm not going to pretend it's based on anything real.
It sounds like the Nexus has had a rough time of it.
Publicly,
Yeah, they all got
I
beaten
would
up by
say
John
we're more
Cena
than
pretty
up for the
bad. I mean, they were
challenge.
really getting pushed hard, and
Privately,
then they just jobbed out.
I can tell you, it's been a disaster. The Scourge killed hundreds, many of them our senior leadership. Even
For
the
you guys,
founder
that
of the
means like
initiative,
30.
Gian Garson, is dead.
Oh man, that's too bad. I thought we'd get to meet her.
How did Jean Garson die?
With the rest of the leadership, when the Nexus hit the Scourge, a large wing of stasis pods was destroyed.
They had the elite stasis
They were
pods.
killed instantly. These people traveled 600 years and died before they even woke up. Jean Garson never glimpsed Helios. She never saw her vision realized.
That's too bad. So anyway, tell me about the Scourge thing.
Cantor's mentioned something about hitting the Scourge. How did it play out?
Oh, it was awesome.
Criminal elements took advantage of the emergency and preyed on people's fears. An uprising followed.
Not criminal.
We had no choice but to turn to the
Sure.
Krogan to deal with them. They crushed the mutiny and the criminals were banished.
We sure love Turn of the Krogan.
Exiles, we called them. I doubt we've heard the last of them. They're led by an outlaw, Sloane Kelly. She used to be one of ours.
Well, presumably, yes, they all used to be yours.
Who is this Sloane Kelly?
You'll be meeting her.
She
I wouldn't
was
have
head of
named her if she wasn't a
security
story
on the Nexus.
character.
She opposed the uprising at first, but eventually turned traitor and joined them. Misguided sympathy for the plight of the common citizen? Nonsense. They posed a direct threat to our existence.
They must all be exterminated. Exterminate!
There don't seem to be many Krogan around.
Have
Good
you ever
riddance.
thought about trying to help them?
The Krogan demanded a
Jeez.
greater say in political matters. The last place you want them involved. Their muscle, nothing more.
Alright, so he's
Good for
racist.
fighting
Good to
and
know.
lifting heavy objects. When they didn't get what they wanted, they left.
What they wanted was not to be asked to lift heavy objects.
Why don't you like the Krogan?
It's common knowledge that they are a violent, ignorant species. Long ago, they waged nuclear war on one another. Their planet was decimated. My people tried to uplift them, but the Krogan could never tame their worst instincts.
We wanted them to lift heavy
Once they bring
objects.
their tempers to Andromeda, we'll all be dead.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you, having only met one Krogan ever, and having her clearly be the brains of the outfit here. The only Krogan character that we've met in this game so far has been a female Krogan who seems more level-headed and with it than anyone. I was liking Director Tan right about up until the point where he started talking about silly sentimental attachments to the peasant classes, and then the racism came in.
What more can you tell me about the initiative?
It represents the greatest migration ever attempted. No
Well,
one had
other than
ventured
the
beyond
Irish
the Milky Way
diaspora, of
before.
course. Meh, but-
We've all left home in search of freedom, fortune,
Bang,
perhaps a new
fortune,
beginning.
bang,
We
fortune.
are the bravest souls each species has to offer. I hope the Nexus will serve as the seat of government for us all.
And that I will rule Sector 5.
What do you know about the early days of the initiative?
Only
As
things
most
you read
everyone
in your
knows,
codex.
Gian Garson's vision made it happen. She was an entrepreneur on Earth. Wealthy. Young for a human. Garson had the idea for
Young
the
for a
initiative in the
human.
early 2170s, I believe. Many thought leaving the Milky Way was impossible. But she persevered. And as with most great ideas, the doubters were wrong.
She was informed of the rules of the House Chamber. She was required to stop asking the questions of the Supreme Court nominee, but she persisted.
Why do you think most people came?
There are
Well,
thousands
they
of
didn't mean
reasons,
to, but the new
one
seat
for
covers
every
on the bicycle.
colonist here. What does any pilgrim seek? Usually, happiness. Finding the thing that
Perhaps they
eludes
seek
them.
Pilgrim's
The
Progress.
thing to fulfill them.
Or Quaker
While we
Oats.
cannot promise they will find it, we can facilitate the search.
We actually did promise they could find it, but we never meant to keep the promise.
It looks like a melting pot around here.
The Nexus is home to several initiative species. Many came ahead of the Arks. The hope is that this station will one day serve as the governing body in Andromeda.
And if not,
Though I'm
we'll
not
get
sure
the
what
Krogan to
thinking
pay for the
lumping
wall.
Krogan into the mix. As a Solarian, my kind tend
She
to have a
actually
low
did
opinion
knock the
of them.
Krogans as I was talking about.
Nothing I've seen here has changed that.
Yeah, okay, so you're a racist asshole. Gotcha. Oh, we once again have dislike for Krogan as an option. Questions? What's your role? My role is to be practical about advancing all the species' interests, but occasionally say racist shit about Krogans.
As director of the initiative, are you in charge around here or what?
If the others would allow me, they don't see me as the rightful successor.
Beep beep, honk honk, government gridlock.
So how does anything get done?
In theory, Kesh handles the Nexus's physical operations, Kandros runs the militia, and Addison manages colonial affairs. I oversee all of it. In practice, we argue, debate, and yell at each other until a decision is made. If we're lucky. It is maddening.
Frickin' Krogan, I mean, what the fuck, man?
What's their problem with you?
I am not Gian Garson. Our founder was charismatic, eccentric, larger than life. Traits I cannot hope
Well, I
to
mean, you're
mimic.
pretty eccentric.
She and her inner circle perished in the Scourge, some at the hands of the Exiles, some never made it out of stasis.
Some devoured by
I was
Krogan
deputy
in their sleep.
assistant for revenue management. Then all 7 leaders above me died. I was next in line for the role.
Revenue management? You mean you're an accountant? What the fuck? They should shoot you out of an airlock right now.
So, you're an accountant?
Wow, I did not know that was
Don't
what was
let
coming.
that fool you. We are all capable of more than we know. When I was young, I was
What the
fascinated by
fuck's
the
wrong with
idea
being
of
an accountant?
exploring
What's
space.
wrong with knowing
Life
how
had
numbers
its
work?
detours, and I went a different direction. Then I heard about the initiative and saw my chance to try the path not taken. While I may not be setting foot on new worlds, my authority can ensure that you do.
So respect,
Right.
not authority.
Sorry.
You're an accountant? I'm sorry, Mr. Pathfinder. I don't have a made-up mystical bullshit title. I'm just trying to make shit actually work. Goodbye. Of course, the accountant character is a racist asshole. Thanks, game.
That's all. Thanks for your time.
My time
I'm
is
happy
money.
to help. You will find our futures depend on each other's success.
Except the Krogans.
Good luck.
So we could go back and
Be advised that Hyperion docking procedures are now complete.
Ben, this is Yolanda. You busy?
I'm kind of curious if she has new stuff to say now.
All right, moving on. Docking clamps?
Fully active and engaged. Something you want, Ryder? You'll have to see to your own ship. I'm not in a risk-taking mood.
She has nothing here to say.
Excuse me, Director Addison.
Of course, Ryder.
Shipper. I mean, Ryder.
All personnel
Sorry, my bad. I'm a Krogan. We're not very good at learning new things.
security is on heightened alert.
And all you humans look alike to us. Your horrible, horrible faces. I feel like I should be able to shoot that to cause minor splash damage to any nearby foes. I discovered Cash's office, and I'm looting it because fuck Cash.
Advised that Hyperion docking procedures are now
Maybe that's a problem, huh? Just had a man should be able to get past her problems. Sorry. Same shit, different day. For posterity even. case the initiative goes belly up. The Nexus is a forming circus. Don't like how Tan operates, and his disdain for the Krogan is obvious. I believe his intentions are ultimately good, but he's an opportunist who's likely to create dissent. I don't see the Nexus coming together if he's left unchecked. It's already polarizing Addison. She's taking the cue to circle the wagons. I think I can talk to Kandros about this, or at least try to get the two of us more coordinated, or maybe not. Seriously hate this kind of drama.
Yes, I know the Hyperion docking unannounced caused some switches to blow. That's fine. I don't care. We know the problem is more widespread than we thought. We're working to fix it. That's all.
No, fuck off.
My crew's working on it. We've moved the ops center to the top of our priority list.
Okay. Well, I do believe we have a video's worth of content now, and having lost almost all of one video, but not gotten the time back, I no longer have enough time to record more than one video in this session. So, I'll get over it, folks. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. When we come back, we will talk with the Krogan lady, who... Oh. See, Kesh at least praises her people when they do well. I have a strong hunch, based on a very brief bit of dialogue that we got with Kesh earlier, and the history of the Solarians being a bit shady in this game, and the Krogan always being portrayed as dumb grunt enemies, but any named Krogan you get to talk to, you're almost always supposed to like. I have a feeling that the Krogan character we're about to meet and talk to is going to be a bit more sympathetic than the bitchy human female and the, you know, kind of squared away until he starts talking racist dogma Solarian guy. And there's a fourth leader whose name has popped up, and they were probably in that group scene that we had when we first got here, but I've already completely forgotten who they are. Looking forward to finding out. Anyway, folks, that's going to be it for this video. I did just say, right, yes. When we come back, we'll talk to this Krogan lady and do more talking, and eventually we need to get to the Hyperion, and the voice in our head will tell us something. And I have a feeling that's going to be fairly plot important. But my feelings may or may not pan out. And I'm vaguely curious in the back of my mind if half of the people watching this LP already know more about the story than I do.